I'm Walter with Virtual C here, and I want to talk to you today about an important workshop that I offer to my clients and that I help teach other coaching clients on how to do. The importance of this workshop is that it's simple, that it starts a conversation with your clients, whereas you may not know what questions to ask about strategy and how to figure out what projects are coming up for the business that may not be technology related. I often get asked that question, well, how do you facilitate that meeting? How do you get your client to talk about what's coming up? Where do they go? What specific questions do I ask? And the answer is I really don't ask any specific questions. I just create a nice friendly framework for them to discuss and give them permission to converse about their business. And to do that, I use the SWOT exercise. The SWOT exercise is a really old exercise. It's every business manager knows how to do one of these. So when you go into a client, you say, hey, I'd like to do a strategy session with you so that we can align our technology with what's going on at your business. And this way we can help you be more disruptive. We can help you get products out faster and maybe create some efficiencies in your business. But I need to run a strategy session so that we can align. And to do that, I'd like to do a SWOT strategy session with you. It'd take an hour of your time at the most, get a couple of your key stakeholders involved, and let's just go through it. Now, what this does is it tells your business, your client, that, oh, yeah, this is a conversation we can have. We know SWOT strategy. We've done these 100 times. This is now you speaking on their turf. They're very comfortable with this conversation. So with that, I want to show you kind of how I run a SWOT exercise. You may have checked out some of my other videos where I've talked about this, but I want to show you how I facilitate one of these meetings. And I will just kind of use a mock customer here. So what I do is I walk into the customer and I give them a good segue. I say, hey, I'm really excited to be here. I'm ready to take your company to the next level, or I really want to know you guys better. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to run a SWOT strategy session here. Maybe the segue can be something positive that happened that week, but I recommend starting with the SWOT directly, and just after the intros are done, you go up and you talk about strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. And what this is going to look like for your segue, starting the conversation, is you really want them to talk about their strengths. You want them to brag about their company and what the company is doing. And the reason for this is because you want them to start off on a positive note. We all have been there in a technology situation where they sit there and they complain about how technology is not working and this is going bad and that's going bad. We want to set the tone of the conversation to be a positive one. And to that end, we want to start off with this strengths. So when you have them brag about their company, we'll say that they're a bank and they want to talk about how they do customer service better than anyone. So customer service is great. Almost everybody will say this. No one wants to admit that they have bad customer service, but let them run with it. Maybe ask a probing question. Like, so what is it about your customer service that really is a highlight over your competitors? And they may say, well, we've been in business for 60 years and we have a lot of long-term clients. We really like to do a high touch with them. We want to make sure that we have a program in place where we call them once a month just to make sure everything's going well. Or when they come in, they always get a person smiling at them. It's not just a blank situation. We keep track of who our customers are, what they've done with us. And they may also say, hey, we have a really good loan program for nonprofits, or we really have a great culture where our employees love working here, so high retention. And you're going to want to write these down, and you're going to really get to know them as a company. So the next thing you're going to do is you're going to think, oh, well, you talk about the weaknesses, right? Like, no, you still don't want to get them into that mindset. What you want to move over is get them into opportunities. And what you're going to ask them is like, hey, can you tell me about like things that are changing in the marketplace? What's coming up this next year? I'd really like to know how we can facilitate growth in your company. But more to the point, I just want to know, like, what are you excited about over this next couple of weeks? Or this next 52 weeks, next 12 months? Just give them a year time frame. And they'll say, hey, we're doing that new kiosk rollout. We're hiring a new CFO. Another bank recently closed in the area. And you're really going to tell them about that. And you're like, oh, that's great. There's some great opportunities there. Those are things that are coming up in the next 12 months. And I think we can help you out with that. And finally, you'll want to talk to them about their weaknesses. Okay, what don't you do well? What do you want to be better at? Or maybe something deliberate that you're not good at. Like, hey, we like to do loans. We don't like to do credit. We like to, it's just part of our fundamental culture. We don't do loans over $100,000. Whatever it is that's part of their bank's culture, that they only do microloans or they only do major loans, or they really like to focus on, house loans but not car loans. So maybe a weakness is, they have this long customer service. What they're bad is prospecting. Maybe they're bad at, or they just, a weakness they have as a culture is they need to get some new blood in for new ideas. And so get them talking about that. Really want to sit back and let the conversation at this point kind of go wherever it's going to go. And you're going to sit in the background and they may say, well, we want some new blood, but, we have some great talent in house, and that can help that new blood become even better. And so you're going to look for ways to connect the dots between things like, hey, you got a closed competitor. Well, you got prospecting and you've got really great customer service. Those three together are going to help them. So they're going to paint this picture. They're the business managers. You're just a technology guy. Or you are going to show them how, if they mention something like the kiosk rollout, maybe you can offer them some of your desktop technicians to help them roll that out more successfully. If they've got a vendor doing it, maybe there's some way you can say, hey, look, we're going to do a change freeze during that time while you're doing that kiosk rollout, so we don't interfere with that success, so that you can get some more clients. And some people at this time will say, well, what about threats? Do we need to talk about threats? And like, no, I never talk about threats unless it's a severe threat, like we're looking at bankruptcy next year, or we are seeing a major issue happen that will impede our ability to move forward. So in the bank sector, it may be that we're going through a recession, and it's going to stop people from opening up new accounts, but also you can see that there's going to be some volatility there. So the reason we do a SWOT exercise is just to have this conversation. Let it roll, let it go however it's going to go, so that you can look at what's coming up. And you're going to learn about new building build-outs. You're going to learn about new, hey, we're going to hire 40 people for this new call center. Well, hey, do you want us to do a pop-up call center with you? Do you want us to help put out these PCs? And you're going to get more ideas on projects that you want to do. And people, like, little tips I would say, people say, well, how long do you spend on each one of these? Like, don't really time box them too much, but in an hour-long conversation, you're going to want about 10 minutes per one of these. And then you're going to close that. So that's 30 minutes you're going to spend on SWO, and you're going to have another 30 minutes for just kind of open conversation and just talking about what the business is. If you can let them go early, even better, because this is often, your C-levels are in this conversation, or some key stakeholders that are going to attend this. And these are very important people. They're very busy, and they really do appreciate having time back to their day. So make this a positive conversation. Use it just to get to learn their company, so that you can then take back what can you help them with. So when you start lining up these big $30,000, $100,000 projects, or even for the small companies, these little $5,000 and $10,000 projects, you can now say, hey, this will help you with your customer service, so that you can get more of these stragglers that came from your competitor closing. Or you can really get more prospecting done if your sales staff have a better pipeline by going into Salesforce, or are able to run more marketing campaigns via a better internet connection. Whatever it is, it's going to allow you to add context to every project you have with your client. You don't have to use a SWOT exercise. You can use any of a myriad of other strategic exercises, or you can develop your own in-house. Just find something that's easy and approachable framework that your clients can understand. And if you do this, you'll find out that you can add business context to any project, and that's going to make clients more willing to sign on and spend money with you in the future. If you have any more questions about this, feel free to reach out to somebody at Virtual C. We love doing these. We love teaching it and walking people through how to do this exercise. It is successful. I have used this exact exercise to take people from spending 1,500 in MRR all the way up to 8,500 MRR. I've worked with other clients to have them audit and spend another $20,000 on projects, because now they understand what it's doing for their business, rather than, oh, we just need to upgrade, or we just need faster internet. No. Let's show them how technology augments their business so that you can be more successful. Reach out and let us know how we can help you further today.